What is going on, everybody? RPG here. Today I want to talk about the success and failure of MMOs on consoles. Well, Black Desert Online comes to Xbox One, and at some point Final Fantasy 14. Is it a good idea for these games to get a console release? Yes, I know Final Fantasy 14 is already out on PS4, but the developers also want to put them out on Xbox One and Nintendo, so how will that game do on those two platforms? Anyways, MMOs on consoles have been something people have wanted since 360 and PS3. We've always been asking for when the MMOs on consoles. The one thing PC always had that console gamers couldn't play because the consoles couldn't run them. And finally, the Xbox One and PS4 came out. We finally had technology to run MMOs successfully. And since then, the track record hasn't been very good at all. MMOs tend to fall flat on consoles. Now, what leads to MMOs failing on these systems? Well, for one, a lot of console gamers that will be interested in playing MMO are also solo gamers, meaning they play alone. MMOs aren't fun to play by yourself. They are best enjoyed with others, just best enjoyed with a larger group. You can come across high-level dungeons where you need to have a group, grindy sections that would be easier with friends and so on. And you would say, well, those people should make friends. Now, some of these people, they don't have an easy time making friends. They want to play MMOs, they love MMOs, but they just cannot. They're not social people. They don't know how to socialize, and it's an unfortunate thing. So people are just naturally shy or introverts, and you can say they just break out their shell and be friendly, but sometimes that's not as easy as it sounds. You can't just flip a switch and become a talkable person or someone who makes friends easily. So they struggle when it comes to MMOs because they don't have friends and they're solo players. Another thing that hurts MMOs on consoles is fetch quests. Console gamers have short attention spans and get bored very, very easily. MMOs are stacked with fetch quests. Take the game you're watching right now, Elder Scrolls Online, for example. Majority of this game is nothing but fetch quests, and this game has pretty much failed on console. Yes, it still has like a following for the most part, but it didn't bring in the player base that's I wanted it to or expected it to. Fetch quests are super repetitive and will kill a player's interest in the game very fast because it makes it boring. Like if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, if I'm going from one location to the other just to pick up a fucking rock and then come all the way back and give it back to someone. That's not fun. That's not enjoyable. People want to do dungeons. People want to fight big bosses. They want to have fun and just blow shit up. Not almost MMOs. You don't get to do that. Another thing that leads to MMOs failures on consoles is paywalls. Most MMOs have to be free to play on consoles, and in order for developers to make money off those games, they have to put a large amount of microtransactions into the game, which isn't a bad idea when it's done correctly. They gotta make money off the product somehow. The problem is when you do too much basic things in microtransactions like houses or color patterns. Games like ESO and Warframe request that you spend real money to get colors for your characters. You want to have a black and red armor? Well, it's going to cost you real money. ESO added houses to the game and gives you one free apartment. Want more houses? That's going to cost you real money. You want to furnish that apartment or house to make it look good? It's gonna cost you some real money. That's the problem. These things shouldn't cost you. Like if you want to buy a mansion, sure, it should cost you some real cash. You want to buy like some gold or platinum kind of skin for your character, that should cost you. Like the basic color patterns shouldn't be behind a paywall. Basic things like a bed or a chair shouldn't be behind a paywall. There are plenty of MMOs on consoles like Warframe, Neverwinter, Elder Scrolls Online, DC Universe, Star Trek Online. And then there are games that take the MMO idea and then add to them with different elements like an MMO shooter, which is Destiny and Division, for example, or MMO racers like The Crew, or MMO space fighters like Elite Dangerous. The two most successful MMOs on consoles are shooters at their core, those games being Destiny and Division. Those games are capable of getting a large number of gamers interested and keeping them interested throughout the entirety of that game's lifespan, something that the rest of the MMOs can't do. Why? Well, they're shooters. Console gamers like to play shooters. They blow shit up. They like to have these big boss fights, these big situations where they're just getting together with their friends and destroying shit. And the other MMOs, they don't. Those are too far in between. There's not a lot of huge scale boss fights. Like I said, it's mostly just fetch quests, and it's just there's a fun factor here, and a lot of MMOs don't have that fun factor that console gamers want to experience. So how will Final Fantasy 14 and Black Desert Online fare on consoles? Neither are shooters, so they'll likely face the same fate as Neverwinter and DC and Warframe. Games with a cult following, and that's basically it. I personally hope Black Desert success and does very well on console because there really isn't any MMO on Xbox outside Destiny and Division that that's really good, that has a lot of people talking and a lot of people playing the game. There isn't a lot of MMOs that are worth putting a large amount of time and hours into. So hopefully Black Desert can be that game. Hopefully Black Desert can be the one that break that curse of MMOs coming to the Xbox One or PS4 and then not succeeding. Because since the ESO and Warframe and Neverwinter, there isn't any MMOs on Xbox that does very well. And this game's gonna be an Xbox exclusive for who knows how long, maybe a year, 2 years. So it's gonna be a one console, and it's not gonna succeed because MMOs just don't do well on consoles unless they can get some good marketing, a good publisher that makes people want to play the game. And there's content that makes people want to come and play the game, and there's free to play things that make you want to play a game. There's not a lot of microtransactions. There's basic things that make people not want to play it. With all that said, what are your guys' opinions on console MMOs? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been your 6 Archangel, the real _talent of YouTube. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.